Hey, Nick.
Hey, Chase.
It's that time again.
What time is it?
Time for
Fuck This Place! Nice. Yeah, I like the beard coming in, Justin. I like it a lot.
every one of Justin Clark's look is a good look.
Yeah. You'd make a really good spy because like you can pass for handsome in every different type of genre, so people will let you go no matter what you do.
Yeah. I think we have a reservation for this guy. I don't know his name, but I'm pretty sure there's a table back here.
I don't know who he is, but he's supposed to be here and we need to make room. And that's all that's the general aesthetic I'm going for.
Yeah.
A real Miranda King, a real male Miranda King. Is what you just
I was gonna say you're just like eating at a restaurant and like the UPS guy, the delivery driver comes in and has you sign for the package. He's like, I just assume you're the manager here, so just go ahead.
Get this man a clear liquor of some kind.
I do this a lot to complete strangers who come up to me. No.
Yeah. Well, we should probably introduce the podcast since we're here. Welcome to Fuck This Place, the podcast about jobs with Chase and Nick. My name is Chase.
My name is Nick, and with us today, fantastic comic, fantastic writer. You can see him on Amazon's upcoming season of Coming to the Stage. You've also seen him on NFL Films, but he's with us here today, the wonderful Mr. Justin Clark. How are you doing, brother?
What's going on, fellas? I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing okay.
How's coming out of the pandemic? Now that we're going, we got mask mandates again. So
we do. As of, I think that there might be a touch of delay for when this episode comes out. But yeah, pretty much as of now, you're supposed to be wearing a mask inside. No, who cares? We constantly acknowledge that this podcast is like about 6 days behind.
Yeah. You can always tell too if we're only like 1 or 2 days behind. There's a sense of panic in me and Chase in the podcast. Yeah, we're trying to churn this one out real fast. Okay, Justin.
Nothing.
I was going to say I went to the gym this morning. And as of now, this is the first day of mask mandate, and I was
indoors.
The only person wearing a mask.
That's not surprising.
And it was like a thing where it was like, I went to the gym at like 7 a.m. and I was like, I'm not gonna be the first guy at 7 a.m. that tells these fucking ridiculous monsters to go put on a mask. Like day one nerd. So
I'll get you a day 3, buddy.
Store. But I went to the grocery store and that was okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The stores here have been like, I live right next to a Gelson's, which is, when you're in a bind, you'll have to pay the extra $5 per product. But
it is, and it is really a $5 tax.
Yeah, it's like they're still wearing I'll bring like a disposable with me if I'm going to like Gelson's or I'm going to Trader Joe's. Look, we're on the east side now. We gotta. So when I walk in, if I see everyone with a mask, I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna be this guy. Put it on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I hid out down in San Diego for the last 6 months to take care of my mom. She's going through some health stuff, but she lives in Carlsbad and it's like a mini Mar-a-Lago. So
it's whatever they want. Yeah.
And I was going to a Crunch Fit, one of the bad ones. Yeah. A Planet Fitness.
Yeah,
it was super cheap. Yeah, I mean, it's like it was like I said hi to them, and that was it. They're like, that's your payment a month. I was like, But
I went into a Planet Fitness once, and they had pizza. You could eat.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. There's no water. They don't have water there. There's no water, so you can just die if you get your water.
Yeah,
they have Dr. Pepper that comes out of the fountains.
Yeah, exactly. They have Diet Mountain Dew.
Yeah, they're like, would you like to exercise in the ball pit?
Yeah, there's Band-Aids on the balls. It's fantastic. But yeah, it's just a bunch of guys during when it was mask mandate, there was just, it was like, there's nothing. No one down there was wearing anything.
And there's no one there at Planet Fitness to lay the law.
There's there's teenagers behind the desk. There's juniors in high school who are stoned and have never lifted a weight. And there's one trainer who is for sure against masks.
Yeah. I feel like
and is selling their own supplements.
Yeah, on the side. I feel like every Planet Fitness, they're always pushing hey, we no judgment here. This is a judgment-free zone. But I look around, a few times I've been in there, I'm like, there should be some judgment. Maybe a little bit of judgment would go kind of far around.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's a lot of overweight, like middle-aged people, and like the trainers. And I like that atmosphere. I like it. Those are my people. I'm like, this is perfect. This is my setting. I get in there, get it done, get out. Don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And there's no grunting. There's no.
There's no throwing of weights.
But I feel like rarely anyone's even working out when I go in there. Like,
no, they mostly they hang out. It's like it's like an hour hangout.
Crunch.
Yeah. We're just like, why are you here? Did you bring your Jane Fonda Crunchmaster here? Like, you don't need to do that.
They have all the same machines that you'll see in like random parks that you'll see.
Those things that
they actually got it from random parks. They actually got it from the parks. They just take it. But like it is just like, I think it is just like an old lady hangout. Like my mom goes there and I'm like, what did you do? You were there for 30 minutes. What did you do?
I saw Carol.
Did you go?
Is what I did.
You went in there, talked to people, you got your socializing in for the day and left. And that's good.
Yeah. You know, in a sense, the Planet Fitness is taking the place of what the YMCA once was. You know, I mean, I'm sure the YMCA is still a thing, but you know, again, YMCA's also have amenities like meeting rooms and stuff that you're supposed to hang out with Carol in. But Planet Fitness just said, you know, it's all in the same box. You know what I mean?
It's just purple. An open purple room. And yellow, purple and yellow are their colors, which is fascinating.
Which is like Ultimate Warrior colors.
Yeah, this is just fucking whatever.
I remember going to the one in Stockton, my hometown Stockton, and
I know you're from Stockton. That's right.
Yeah. And then I remember they have it written on the walls like Stockton real big, and it's not even capitalized. Like I was like, come on, guys, take yourselves a little seriously at this shit. You can't capitalize the name of our city.
Yeah. Planet Fitness is like if it's like a gym got a divorce and just went and has a studio apartment now. You know how the dad's always a loser and they're still trying to get it together. You're just never. They're like, well, this is my life now. Come on, let's. Everything is microwavable in here. Let's figure it
out. You can have a coffee table, Planet Fitness. It's okay. So, but Justin, we are going to jump into our first segment, which is a segment that we do on every podcast. And it's a segment we call Fuck This Place ? And that's where we decide if we would work somewhere or not. You're originally from Seattle. Is that correct? So we have pulled up some Seattle Craigslists.
Let's do it.
So I've got the title to 3. I'm going to read all 3. You'll pick the one you don't want to click on, and then we'll look at the other 2.
Got it.
Okay, great. So title to number 1 is Honey Do Stuff. Title number 2, Looking for 2 Guys with a Truck. And then title number 3, and this feels very Seattle to me, Renaissance Fair Help Needed. Ooh. So which is I'm definitely not clicking on. Honey Do Stuff, 2 Guys with a Truck, or Renaissance Fair Help.
2 Guys on a Truck, just because that seems boring.
Because you don't have a truck, you know, and that's fine.
And I don't have a truck.
Okay, well then let's go straight into, you know, I think we kind of know what's going to happen with Renaissance Fair, although there's really no way to predict. I say we jump into Honey Do Stuff first.
Absolutely.
So the title to number 1 is Honey Do Stuff. and then
I don't even know where Newport Hills is.
We're going to zoom out. It's in Newport Hills. It is what you might call the far east of Seattle. It's on the other
Seattle's
side
got a real like Game of Thrones looking kind of map.
So like right there is like T-Mobile's headquarters. Is like right at that freeway junction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So you know, maybe this is the CEO or something.
Yeah, it's all and then Costco corporate is in Issaquah. So that's just a bunch of T-Mobile.
Wow, that's where Costco lives?
Yeah. Issaquah, if you zoom out, Costco. It's the biggest Costco. No, there's just, what if it was just Costco headquarters was just 4 Costcos on top.
Right on top of each other.
Yeah.
Like a square castle.
Impregnable.
Yeah, it's just a layered tiered cake.
A layered tiered cake of just a bunch of oranges, you know.
Okay. Proof of COVID shot.
Okay, yeah. So we'll read the post here. So it does start with some bolded text. So like I want to say before we get into this, special shout out to this text in that they used some formatting skills. Most just start talking. Anyway, it says so it says detailed list of work needed, but multiple jobs and maybe multiple people will be hired. Which Then it says proof of.
I like
COVID.
it because that sounds a little bit Hunger Gamesy opening statement.
Yeah, like
some of you will survive.
Some of you will not. Then the post continues. It says proof of COVID shot and safety mask will be required. Actually reassuring. And then it says foyer floor. major priority this week. So I'm guessing we're going to get organized into tasks here, but this is the first
one.
The
things they're getting specific about without letting you know what it is fascinating.
That's not good. Yeah. So it says for your floor, major priority this week. And then it says first and most important is the worst of all, which is a great way to start. And I think we're
giant riddle.
We are going to jump into the paragraph to figure out what's going on. It says, I have a front foyer that I had to take up the old tile because of the previous owners. And now my animals have urinating on it.
Oh, man.
Long story. Is it what it's? It actually sounds like a pretty short story.
Yeah. But definitely one that has bad grammar throughout all of it.
Yeah. But like the short story is my animals have been pissing on this thing. That's it. Anyway,
can you have a stroke typing?
It's possible. It's possible. Or the long story is just simply how many times you would tell me if you spoke to me once a month, how many times you would tell me that the animals were pissing on your floor. Maybe it's that you would tell me every month.
Maybe I was going to say like he was going to write have urinated on it, but as he looked up, they were currently urinating on it, and he got his mind flipped. He was like, have urinating right now?
Just pauses. Long story.
Yeah, this is the beginning to like a Murder, She Wrote. It will eventually.
The dog's dead now.
Yeah, this dog is long dead. This is just a wet floor, and we don't even know why. It will eventually need a subfloor and hopefully epoxy flooring put in. Okay, but right now I need someone to come cut up the current smelly vinyl that is not attached / glued down. So it's literally just there's trash on the floor now. And then it said the person says, I have linoleum cutters. Pull up the white. This is like as if I had already accepted the job.
Everything.
Yes. Pull up the white plastic under it. That's not attached either. I have new plastic and a new vinyl / rug to take the place of it until I get the floor done. This will take about 2 to 3 hours if the person is strong enough.
Again, Hunger Gamesy.
The vinyl I have down is the commercial store quality, so it is heavy. Rolling it up and taking it out would be ideal because of the weight and the smell. It is not something you would want to throw over your shoulder, etc. It is a 17-foot by 5-foot area. Way deep into the specifics here. This to me,
they're detailed.
They're very. Again, we have so much more text to get through, but I do think it's either a very good thing of this specific or a very bad thing. Like the good thing could be like, I'm really trying to make this job clear for you. The bad thing is if you're this bossy now, imagine when I show up.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
They're not like, just walking away and letting you do this job.
Yeah. And it's weird. Like
they're there.
And they're going to tell you like, oh, you really don't want to put that piss on your shoulder, buddy. And it's like, listen, I gotta do my job here. Nick.
Well, I was going to say, they were like very specific about the job and very vague about that piss. They like mentioning it. They're like, it's pretty bad. But anyways, here's the job.
They open with it.
For a second, but wait a minute.
Let's open with the piss.
Yeah. We might have I'm actually looking ahead. I think we might have a hope here of getting into the piss story. It says special note,
very special.
Epoxy. So this is our epoxy category. If you know how to install subflooring and a nice watertight floor, I am listening. Are you? Seems to me like you're typing. Anyway, I would love, all caps love, to get this floor done, but I'm sure the urinating is not going to stop anytime soon.
Oh, so they're still doing it.
And that's why it says urinating in the beginning, I guess. You're right. It was just still pissing. Not going to stop anytime soon because I have an older dog, but she still has some time. I'm zooming in here. I have an older dog, but she still has some time before she goes. And because she has done it, I'm sure our other dog will continue for a little while longer also. So I think, here's what I think is happening. We have an old dogs. This happens. I remember my dog, my family dog before she died, had some pissing problems. We medicated her. And then I think eventually had to put her down because she kept pissing all over. Like she couldn't.
Oh, for sure. That's how it happened. It could all just open with, hi, I'm a bad dog owner.
Yeah. And I need you to fix my house.
Just don't let them in the air. Like, do you understand? Like, it's not to put them outside.
Put them outside or get one of those dog crates.
What this should be is just a note to say, hey, I need someone to build me a doghouse outside. That's where my dog needs to be now.
Or just an appropriate place in the basement for my dog to be.
It's weird that he's like, look, I'm the type of guy that doesn't teach his dog how not to piss in the house, but I am a guy that has a stranger come in and build me a new house.
I feel it easier just to have all of the tools necessary to pull up a floor than tell my dog
please
outside,
don't
outside from now until you die, which isn't long, but you're outside now.
So the post continues. So it would have to be sealed correctly. I think this person wants a swimming pool bottom is essentially, you know what I mean? Or the Honda Element floor. You know what I'm talking about? You're just designed to be hosed out.
They want a completely washable floor.
Yeah.
They want like an industrial kitchen floor.
Yeah, correct. And then they continue. This would be the perfect opportunity for someone who has just learned epoxy application. Is it the best opportunity who just learned?
Your home is my training wheels, lady.
Yeah.
And really needs an area. I'm sorry, I have to finish the sentence. Just learned epoxy application and needs an area to really express themselves.
The epoxy artist.
Yeah.
In us all.
Yes.
I just want to show up and be like, look, I know nothing about epoxy or tile, but I will kill your dog for you. I think that might be more helpful.
I can stop this.
I'll save the younger one. But the old one, let's get to the source here.
Yeah. Let's make this an elegant solution. So the post continues, and God willing, we'll keep reading. Tile. This is after the epoxy header.
Scroll all the way down. I do want to see how long this is.
It's just so. I am gonna not keep scroll. Okay, it's so long. We're gonna have to skip. We're gonna have to skip to the end at a certain point. But we're gonna finish this section.
Insane.
We're finishing special note now. This is special note number 2. Tile. You could have fixed the floor by now if you knew what you were doing. I think someone who knows.
You could have sold and bought a new house.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, the housing market is on fire, I am sure, in Seattle as well.
So I just had to sell my grandmother's over this last year. In a week, it was insane.
That's what I'm saying. If you need to cut and run, friend, you got an out. Anyway, I mean, I don't know how you're going to repurchase a home anyway, but good luck.
You're not living in Seattle anymore. You can go to Oregon.
That's correct.
It's very nice down there.
Yeah, go to Idaho or something.
Yeah, I think Oregon wants to be part of Idaho now.
Is that true?
I think Eastern Oregon.
They always have.
Fucking the crazy people are like, we're for Idaho now. I'm like, that's not how state lines work.
Not at all. Not even close.
Idaho's accepted that we're very racist and they'll take you. But Oregon is like, no.
Please don't, is what Oregon says. Doesn't mean that they're not. They just give it a strong please. So tile. Someone who knows tile or has just learned to tile and knows how to seal it. I am also willing to listen. Listen to what?
They clearly want someone who doesn't know, who's cheap.
Yes.
So that's like, hey, no skills. That's fine. Just say it. Just say, you can do a shit job. Just make it cheap.
Correct.
Like they're clearly.
Yeah, they're looking for an intern, is what they want.
Pretty much.
So then they continue. I am willing to try a new person out if they can prove to me they know how to do the subfloor. How are you going to prove that? Here we go. I am a former construction site manager. I know when I hear something, if it is real or not. I would like to have at least 2 references on your abilities. Pictures would be nice. Okay. Someone who could prep subflooring off-site and then install I'm not going to read your directions. I'm not building IKEA furniture here.
Have your own. Be new to this, but have your own work site.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. And there we go. I would prefer someone who has the means to haul this away instead of me putting it in my trash can. So again, like you want me to be a consummate professional who just figured out how to do everything, but you're also going to tell me how all of it gets done.
Yeah, I just it's crazy how this person is just taking the most boring way to tell me they're the least likable human being.
It's infuriating. This whole post, like just the length of this post and the order of detail is infuriating.
Okay, we're going to skip down to solar panels because I do think it's upsetting. And it says, I have a 20 panel array of solar panels. They need to be cleaned. This requires a soft mop, which I have, and some Dawn liquid. The mop is light, but the one section at the top of the mop head that connects the mop to the handle can be heavy, and that cannot just be plopped down. You break the panel, you buy it.
You buy it.
Mhm.
Does this person do?
You're asking me for help.
Do they do anything on their own? They clearly, this whole post has been like, hey, I know how to do all this stuff, but will you come do it?
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to do all this stuff, even better.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so
they
then
just want someone to hang out with. It sounds like,
or to certainly tell things to.
Yeah, well, I'm
going to skip
construction
this.
Manager.
There's this house return error using flexible piping / small enclosed space section, because there's a YouTube video that I'm sure isn't even there. So they want, as an example, they want bathroom exhaust fans done. They want drawers in the stair wall. And they want recessed cabinets in different walls.
Oh my God. He's like, I got a bookshelf. Can you do a thing where you pull the one book out and the whole wall flips around?
and again, the title of this was Honey Do Stuff.
Honey Do Stuff. Honey Do Stuff. Garage.
As in light remodel.
Yeah, I would think a honeydew stuff is like, I'm an old person and I really just need, like I've got too many newspapers. Yeah. Can you take my newspapers? Like something like that.
The title of this went from sounding like it was from a sassy black woman, which very much down, to a very stringent old white man.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, like an old priest.
Yeah. I'm not with the church anymore. Let's not get into it. Long story.
And do not ask the former diocese where I came from or what happened there. Okay, so there's the garage ceiling with access doors and ladder. Oh God, there's so much description, and then there's a bolded section here that I do think we should at least try to take a look at. Okay, so first bolded section says, "I will buy all supplies for these projects unless you can prove you can buy the item." So this is the arbitration section of the deal.
Wait, unless you can prove you can buy the items
at Home
cheaper.
Depot.
I missed cheaper for a second. I was going to get so mad if he was implying that I might not be able to know how to buy things.
Yeah. And it says, I will pay you on a per hour basis unless we can come up with a reasonable project price. I do not pay until you have completed the job. Unfortunately, over the years, I have had handymen decided to take days and sometimes weeks off between different aspects of a project, usually after I pay them. Or maybe they just had to talk to you once and were like, maybe I'll never come back.
I wonder if those days are called the weekend.
You've taken 2 days off between Friday and Monday.
I wonder how many of these handymen thought they were just doing one thing and found out they were remodeling an entire house.
That they were a honey-do stuff.
Yeah, it was a honey-do stuff.
Listen, I didn't know this was going to be a honey-do stuff situation. And then it says, this has resulting in me just having a mess or hiring someone else for all the jobs that require major work, like installation of epoxy tile, tearing down walls, etc. We will create a contract and have specific completion times, payment, and other required information detailed, making sure you get paid as well as me having a completed product. Okay, so
this person has clearly been kicked off of TaskRabbit. Like, you understand? They're on Craigslist for a reason. Like, they no handyman will work for them.
Correct.
Clearly,
0 stars.
They clearly have worked with a lot of handymen, and you kept none of their numbers.
Yeah. And none of them would come back.
None of them want to come back and do
even
this.
After you
Fascinating.
to pay them again. And then there's another paragraph at the end, and I think this is really where we get to the meat of things. It says, I understand these projects are wide in scope and require a variety of different skills. This posting does not have to be for just one person. It can be for several people. My husband will kill me if I try to do all these projects at one time. And listen to this, especially since he works from home. Now that is a harrowing picture of this person's life.
That like, the husband is the old dog that's going to die.
Oh shit! The husband is the old dog.
He's just been peeing on the floor, hoping someone comes.
And that dog is the CEO of T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a Costco Gold Star member.
That's correct. Yeah. And then, I guess we'll finish the paragraph. I am sure for the right person, I'll be able to find other projects in our house in the long term. Oh boy, I believe you got long-term projects.
Yeah.
No question. If this is the beginning, if this is the honey do stuff ask, then like the hey, I just need you so bad post is like the basement is filled with blood. And I just need you to empty it. Do you have a shop vac?
An old lady who just wants to talk.
It could be.
She's like, you don't build this. She's got time on her hands. This is very clear.
Yeah.
A lot of time. organization skills aren't really there. We could work on her structure. Don't want to get into the editing of it all.
Yeah,
but then she goes, what does she say? She goes,
it says, it continues, my old contractor has moved to Hawaii. I paid him enough of 10 years with different projects in different houses so he could afford it. I need a new contractor slash handyman. I will say, you need a new contractor slash handyman, and that is the title of your post.
Totally. That's the first line. That's absolutely, that's the first line.
That's where we start, you know.
I mean, I just want to work on the organization of her writing. Really, I just want to sit down with her after I kill the dog. Or the old man.
After you show up with a rifle.
My God.
I just also feel like after you go there, you open up all the windows and turn on a bunch of fans to get all that piss smell out. This started with a room full of piss, right?
I love how she's like, I'm not even going to try to get the dog to stop pissing here.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not even going to prevent the other one from pissing here.
Yeah,
that's correct.
And
I'm welcoming new piss.
Yeah, I say, and don't ask my husband to do it, who also happens to be here 24 hours a day.
Who's also and is pissing on the floor right now.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, like, again, I don't know how all floors work, but I would say that most floors start semi-waterproof, you know? Sure. So like
as soon as this post said, and I'm not going to like stop the dog from pissing, I'm like, this is
it's over.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
This is a woman. I know my mom. Like I know, like, yeah, you could very easily stop this from happening. But it's like, he doesn't mean to. Look at him. Like, I'm gonna punch the dog.
The volume of urination is like I'm just picturing, I'm just looking at just like my floor here, you know, and maybe it's wood, you know, it's not, but like, let's imagine it's wood. You would have to have an animal piss on the floor, leave it, and piss 1,000 more times before it becomes a problem.
The amount of piss required to warp wood.
High volume.
I mean, either this dog just has no bladder anymore, or he's just laying in that spot pissing openly. At which case, I will come over and kill your dog for you. This sounds like a horror situation for the dog.
Yeah. It's a nightmare life. So I mean, obviously, I'm not honey-do stuff. I'm not doing stuff. I'm gonna say fuck this place.
Honey-do stuff.
I'm both scared and tired.
Yeah, I'm with Justin on this one because like I feel like I agree. Like you go over there and no one wants you to kill that dog more than that dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I want nothing to do with any of these people. I don't like how much this lady is already complaining at me. I don't like the fact that her husband can't seem to get off of his fucking ass to do anything. I secretly hate him easily as much in the background for just being a fucking lazy piece of shit who can't even write this post himself.
It sounds
he works from home. He's at a computer already.
It sounds like I would go and it would just be like a Resident Evil house. Like it would just be like I would just being with a crazy family. Leatherface is just sitting in a lazy boy, fucking too lazy to pick up his chainsaw anymore. And the dog is just with a child's hand eating and pissing on the floor.
Every good.
I'll say you're mopping up the piss and then it just starts to really get into your system and then you pass out and you wake up and you're tied to that chair at the table, you know?
Yeah. And they leave
the piss for the ammonia to make to knock you out. It's very ingenious.
Yeah, everybody in this house, depending on how long they spend there, they beg for death eventually.
Yeah, no one.
The dog most of all.
No one gets out of this house, and if they do, they leave a piece of them.
So that person who went to quote unquote Hawaii, they're in there.
Yeah, she put the big Hawaii in the sky.
This person had to put an ocean between them and this bitch.
That's best case scenario. Otherwise, she calls one of the
walls.
And
she still claims that she bought their Hawaii house. How do you listen to this woman? He moved to Hawaii because I was banging him so well. Were you really?
Yeah.
Or is this person in the witness protection program?
Yeah. Or are they deep in the FBI? Like the FBI's got them covering the tracks.
Yeah.
They're to the wind.
I paid him so well, he decided he no longer wanted to be near me.
He just uprooted his kids from school and took the wife.
And he left a rather expensive city and lived to one of the most expensive states.
Yeah. I paid him so much, he bought a new phone number.
and a cease and desist letter.
Yeah.
I mean, the only person more fascinating than this person is the person who would respond to this and be like, I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got this.
I got this.
I just read all this text.
Deal.
Yeah. Deal.
Yeah. The person's like, they're currently massaging the giant scar on their face. Right now. Like, I can handle this.
Yeah.
He's partially made of bugs.
Oh, I was gonna say wearing one of those, those dog collars that have like the spikes in them on the inside for the dog training. But he's wearing one of those collars.
Yeah. And his voice box is weird now because of it.
Yeah.
And he has a leash for himself.
Correct. Yeah. So we're gonna say fuck this place, and we're gonna move on to what I hope is some lighthearted fare. Speaking of fare, the title is for post number 2 is Renaissance Fair Help Needed. And we have 6 pictures to start this post off. We're going to quickly buzz through them. Picture number 1, it's a sword.
Straight up sword.
Straight up sword. And it's like a sword you would see on like a purchasing website. Like it's completely isolated. You know what I mean? It's just a sword, no background.
They Googled sword and went with the first picture.
That's correct.
Yeah, exactly.
That is absolutely correct. Picture number 2 is also of a sword, but a different sword, and also probably the second image in the Google image search of sword.
Zoomed up onto the handle. I like it.
Yeah, we do have a shot of a more ornate sort of what we call that, like a stained cherry.
Is that like is that a dragon in the handle and like the butt of the handle there?
Yep, could be a dragon here. It's a bit of a wing situation. And then picture number 3. Again, the third picture when you Google. Now this one is it's two. It's
crossing swords.
2 swords. It's just again a slightly more zoomed in version on the hilt. And again, it's a sword. It's a medieval style sword. Now,
is
picture
there
number 4,
any other weapons at this Renaissance fair?
I don't think so. Picture number 4 is, I think, where things get real interesting because we have what is very clearly the hilt of a sword,
a handmade, like a very shoddily made sword.
This is definitely
$45. It looks like. Is that a price tag?
It does it does appear to have a price tag, and the price tag does appear to say $45 for this, which actually. That's not an egregious price for a not very good sword. I mean, I
don't know sword pricing.
Well, based on that paint job on that hilt, I mean.
Yeah. I would say honestly, like a sword that's metal that you might actually consider using.
It's plastic. You can see like if the gold parts.
You do. You can see a bit of a seam. Yeah. So I should describe for the listeners.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
There's a hilt with like gold, quote unquote gold. They're painted gold bands. There's a painted. There's a painted like rounded crest or something, but again, it's clearly painted on what appears to be plastic or some sort of plastic composite because you can see like a seam.
You can only see the hilt because the rest of it is in a cardboard box wrapped in a plastic bag.
That's correct. Thank you, Justin. And very important to note that it is inside, but it's not like
it's on the floor.
It looks to be an abandoned car.
I think it is sitting on the tailgate of like a hatchback car, like the back of a Subaru, back of a Honda CRV, where you pop that top, and then, and so I'm guessing on the top of a pile of other things, right? You can see some sort of olive colored duffel bags, maybe just like looks like one of those Rubbermaid containers, you know what I mean? Like it's just sort of you can see the person's shoes who took the picture.
Oh, okay, there you go. Oh yeah, there you go.
So again, this person just and I see what appears to be another box here, so that's maybe where a different sword came from. That's picture number 4. Picture number 5, different angle.
Well, there we go.
And everything's becoming much more clear. We have multiple swords.
Camping.
I mean, I've got to be clear. The camping the big plastic camping box is like a Washington State staple.
It really is.
Every car there is a big clear plastic tub from Target that has camping on it.
Correct. The sticker of what the thing is has not been removed because it's a goddamn bitch to get those things off. That's
buddy like 3 months ago literally got his car broken into, stolen up there. He was visiting Portland and he had to go home. They looked for it. He went back to Seattle. The cops ended up calling him and said, "We found the car." And he goes back down, collects it. They just took all his camping gear.
And honestly,
they left the car. They left the stereo system.
That's insane.
And they just took the camping gear.
But the camping gear that could be worth easily $2,000 depending on what's in there.
Sure. But it's Portland,
or it could be worth a lifetime.
They're using it. They're using it.
Yeah. So anyway, in this situation, we have what is very clear: 1, 2, 3, 4 sword hilts, possibly even 5 here. I don't know if this is like a scabbard, maybe, but it's clear that there are swords in boxes that are sort of out of this sort of hatchback situation. There is a camping box, maybe a cleaning product. So it's clearly the back of someone's car, and this car is this is the way the back of this car always is. Picture number 6. We got to turn our heads here, but I think it's just this way.
I also think skip this picture. It's the same thing, just it's worse.
So that's the pics.
Okay.
And here's the post. Ren Fair goer, LARPer, nerd, and I really appreciate number 3. Just let's say it. Let's say that. Let's say what we mean. Enjoy making people laugh and serving kids.
What?
Are you planning on attending the fair anyway? And you say the fair, obviously you mean the closest nearby Renaissance festival. And this person says, I need a few interactive helpers during the Midsummer Ridden Fair, which I guess is the one close. That's the name of the one near Seattle. I have a vending area and activity. I think you mean sales, by the way. I can help with part of your costume. That's not usually, if you're attending the fair anyway, that is the number one thing you do not need help with. I could use you in a variety of ways based on your talent/abilities, but you'd be pretty busy. I don't know what you're doing yet. It would be a constant tempo, nonstop. It probably be a treat for you to stay and live the fair the whole day anyway. Anyway, what? What am I doing? I have partial armor for a knight if we went that direction. I don't like the wheeze already. Or
have you, or peasant.
Or have you dress as a squire or peasant for just a runaround person, which is a thing at Renaissance festivals.
I can't pay cash. Shocking.
That's correct. I cannot pay cash, but I would barter a $60 to $120 stainless steel costume sword for your time.
Hence the pictures.
Yeah, see pictures is what it says. I would take your help for 6 to 8 hours on a Saturday or Sunday. One or more of the 3 weekends in August. Thank you. I'd have you choose the sword you want, and we would determine a fair number of hours based on retail value of sword. If you enjoy the work and I like you, and you want a second day, we could pick out a few more retail items to barter. To reply, use this email and describe yourself and your experience interacting with families or acting, such as high school. I'd be love that. I'd be quite interested if you also. I'd be quite interested also if you play the drums. Yeah, dude. I need energetic, outgoing, honest, clean, and fun, male or female. And then we have a link to a sword example.
It's like all this Renaissance stuff, and at the end, she's like, "Also, do you know how to play Everlong by the Foo Fighters?"
Let's for sure ask him about this band he wants to start because I can play the lead and hook to Everlong on guitar, but I could probably figure it out on drums.
Is Everlong that song with it where he goes, "Simply the best, the best"? Is that
that's best of you?
Oh, Everlong, yeah.
Oh man, I wish we had like the money to like add the Everlong song to the end of this episode.
I absolutely agree.
Unapologetically a Foo Fighters fan.
Oh yeah, same here. I fucking love the Foo Fighters.
Yeah. No, they've done a great job.
On the Foo Fighters, I'm just like, great musicians. You just don't like them, huh?
Oh yeah, cool. Oh yeah, not a big fan of the last great American rock band, huh? All right,
a drummer of his generation and 3 guitarists who are on Rolling Stones top 50. Yeah, no, they suck.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of these guys has been 2 of the most popular bands ever. All right, cool.
Absolutely. And didn't put it together in a decade.
Yeah.
Fuck Dave. Also just seems like the nicest human being in the world.
Seems like a nice dude.
The most exciting thing about Dave Grohl is he's a better comedian than most lifelong comedians.
100%.
Infuriating.
Yeah. No, he has a good time and he deserves it. It seems like, and that's really the rub. That's why people don't like him. So 6 to 8 hours for maximum $120 worth of a stainless steel costume sword doesn't seem like a great trade to me.
No,
especially if I was going to the fair.
That's why he's clear, like he's really aiming for high school kids. Like he's really aiming for, hey, you don't have any money because legally you can't make it, huh? Well, here I am.
Well, do I have the sword for you?
Do I want a sword, but the allowance just won't allow you to build up for one? Here we go. Give me those muscles.
Here's something that looks cool, but it's actually pretty useless.
Here's what I don't understand. Like, I could understand. Okay. Why does this person actually need you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very much for the same reason the other person. I think it's just I know nobody, and please just help me.
I've burned every bridge in this community.
Yeah, look, our social skills up in Pacific Northwest we're not known for it. So I think you get to a point where if you get too old and they all die, off only don't want to talk to you, or you're this guy, which I mean, insert reason here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he clearly.
I would also like to pose the question, because I am vaguely familiar with Renaissance festivals as a person who did theater in high school. And I think this person isn't if this person provided only pictures of swords that are on Google and then the back of this person's car, here's what I think is happening. I don't think this person is inside the Renaissance Fair.
No,
I think this person sells in, because what happens if you show up to Renaissance Fair, if you've never been, it's just like going to Six Flags or whatever. The main thing is the main thing, but there's also a massive amount of parking, usually in a field, somewhere fallow, right? There's horses, but you park in a place and then you have to walk usually a considerable distance if you show up any other than like at 8 a.m. right into the fair. And there's people just like at a Grateful Dead concert or whatever that have set up a sort of secondary market outside of the main deal. And so I think this person has just got the hatchback of a Honda CRV open with a bunch of plastic bags and swords, right? And then is just using you, a high schooler, to lure people over to their booth. I think that's what they need you for, if they actually need you. You
sound like you have much more than just a cursory idea of what a Renaissance Fair is.
Too much.
Chase is a mage.
Clearly have been to some Dead concerts. The other thing is this has to have been flagged by the FBI. It's just it's clearly a man who just has pictures of the trunk of his car and swords asking for children's help.
With
you can no other information and no form of payment. Just like, hey,
at all.
With very, very, very real time frame. No mention of what the work is.
Yeah. You paint a picture. This guy's, he's a bit of a creep. I didn't grab onto that right away, but this guy's fucking weird.
We're the land of Ted Bundy. This guy, stay clear.
Correct. So Ted Bundy started in the Northwest because it was just the right kind of place to ask people.
A lot of woods up there.
A lot of woods. Can I get closer to your car? And the answer is always yes.
Yeah.
Or can you get closer to mine?
Yeah.
The answer is also yes.
This guy has a fake broken leg.
A fake, yeah, sure. Yeah, there's like, I'm sorry, I got a bum leg. Can you help me? Can you push these
over here? Just the orange hatchback in the woods over there.
Can you push that camping Tupperware a little deeper into the back?
Why don't you get in there? Just get in there. Crawl in there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get on your hands and knees just to really push it back. I've pushed the seats down. You're gonna have to really get in there. And then off you go.
Get into that camping bin. Get right in there.
There's a second bin. It's named people. So I mean, obviously this is a no. It's a no.
I
shouldn't.
I think I'll say just if everything's on the up and up. If everything was on the up and up, I still don't know the value of a sword. So I might bust my ass for 9 hours and then get a sword, and I meet someone like Chase who knows swords, and I'm like, this is worth $9, you fucking idiot. Just like, that's best case scenario. Other ones, I'm all chopped up.
I also think that if you are in fact a Ren Fair goer, LARPer, and or nerd, you actually have Googled sword prices before, and I think you're going to realize, 60 to 120 for a sword is like, if you actually want to strike something with it.
No brand name.
Nothing.
Like, or blacksmith name, whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
Torii Hanzo sword. Yeah. Like we're just going to. I mean, honestly, if I were have to choose between these two jobs, I would just go buy a truck, find a friend, and hope.
Yeah, go to that.
It's a tough road. So we're just gonna say
I do love compensation. Barter for new costume sword.
Yeah. Boom. So obviously no, and fuck this place. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
Wanted to remind you that you can text the podcast anytime you want.
Night or day, whenever the hell you want.
it's fine. It's the number is 470-BAD-JOBS. The actual numbers are 470-223-5627. That's the number.
So yeah, anytime you want. Like I said, middle of the night, whenever. We don't got jobs right now. Whatever's going on with you is going on with us.
I mean, absolutely. Maybe you still have a job and it's like shitty. You can tell us about that. Mm-hmm. Maybe you don't have a job and it was shitty before.
Maybe you're getting one of those weird like temperature forehead checks right now.
For sure.
You want to pull out your phone and just say, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm going to text 470-BAD-JOBS.
470-223-5627 is the number. That is the number. And you can also call us if you want, but I mean, whatever. It's your choice. That's the point here.
All right, Justin, what is the first job you ever had?
I worked at a golf course in the bag room. It was like, I was a professional golf cart driver. It was all downhill from there.
You're in the bag room. Mm-hmm. What is that? What happened? I don't golf.
It's like a private. It'd be like everything a caddy does, except go out with the guys. Like I didn't do that. So like I finished out high school in the Valley. My parents moved down there when I was like a sophomore, junior.
Okay.
High school was a culture shock. Hated it. It was just, I did my 2 years and went immediately back to Seattle. But it was this private. It was this private golf club called Wood Ranch, we would literally, so like members kept their bags there, so they would pull up and we'd be like, all right, Mr. So-and-so's here, he's going out, his tee times this, so we get their cart ready, throw their bag on, give it out to them. They'd have tournaments and stuff, so we'd set up all the carts for that. We'd close the place down. It was just a bunch of high school kids, and it was run by like, our bosses were like the pro shop guys. There was like one pro, and then the other two guys, one was a lunatic and the other one was this super cool dude who just didn't give a shit. But yeah, wow. It was
Motley Crue.
Yeah, it was interesting. We would take like, there was a driving range that had like a steep incline because it just went out. But we would take the one golf cart that didn't have the governor on it. We'd turn it off.
Right.
And we knew which one it was. So we would take that one out at night and we would just go down the 40% incline and then just hit the e-brake and turn the wheel and see how many times we could get it to spin. That was, we would do that constantly.
How many times could you spin it?
Oh, we got it like, we got 7 or 8. The hill was huge. Wow. I mean, it was just like, and then
so you're spinning as you're going down the hill.
Until some asshole kid at the golf course over was doing that and flipped it, broke his neck, and died. And then
holy shit!
Yeah, all the pro shop guys knew we were doing this because they had the security cameras. They just didn't give a shit. So until like the kid broke his neck, I'm like, yeah, you guys can't
die here.
That guy killed himself and all the fun.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're kind of like a concierge, in a sense.
Yeah. So it was dealing with members. It was a lot of that, which was fun. But it was it was nuts. I was like 17. The bartender would just give me drinks, like mixed drinks. I remember getting so fucked up. Like I was a pretty good boy in high school. Yeah, senior year was like when I had all my fun. I already got home to college. I had this job. This job was fun. So I was like, I accidentally got fucking hammered on the job. And I remember like Derek, the cool pro shop guy came down and he's like, we got a shotgun tournament at noon. I need you to pull the cards. And he's like, you got like hammered, slurred everything, pointed at him, gave him a finger gun. Yeah. He goes, are you drunk? I was like, well, 100%. And he was like, are you? No, what? No, you go home. You're done. Don't ever drink it. Like I didn't get right. He's like, don't ever drink on the job, you idiot. And I took a golf cart and just drove away. And I just drove home because I live close enough. And I was like 4 blocks away and Derek pulled up in his car. He's like, don't fucking take the cart, you asshole. Like, go get back. Yeah, it was.
But in all fairness, you were probably no more drunk than anybody else at that on the golf course.
My God, these guys would get so fucked up. They would when we would have tournaments, like a shotgun tournament, they would all go out at once. So they would all, but with different holes, so that they would just kind of play. So that's how they could all get them out at once. But then they would all come back in at once. So we'd have fucking 120 carts that we'd have to hose down and get ready. And they would all have they all had coolers in them. And so then we immediately would just go through all of the coolers, first thing we did. And we would take all of the mini fists and compile them. Yeah. And then a bunch of, there was one member who would make Jello shots. And to this day, like the most potent Jello shot I ever had. I went to a D1 college.
Yeah.
And like actual Jello shots, like they went down. They were like gelatin. And it was, I mean, you could fuel a jet on these things. And like not the shitty Jello shots we were forced to eat at sororities and shit in college parties, like where you just had to like eat it like Jello. Literally, it was just green gelatin vodka. It was like fucking hell. But yeah, we would just stock up on all those. We'd all keep them in our car.
Yeah.
Our cars. Yeah. We would
and they're so rich, they don't care about the leftover, and so wasted. They don't care about the leftover shit.
They would give it to us. They would give us those Jellos. Like every time he would give us one, like they would give us before they went off. And then if they had any left back here, and I would just wonder, like, I had been drinking for 6 months at that point. Maybe I was like, this is it's not good. Like it's like too much for me to handle.
I'm gonna die if I keep doing this.
Yeah.
At this pace.
When you were driving drunk in the golf cart, when you were driving home, did you see his name's Derek, the cool guy? Like, did you see Derek in his truck or whatever behind you? Like the cops?
No, I had nothing. I had nothing. He just came up, pulled to the side, and was like, "Turn around. You turn around right now."
He made you drunk drive back to the golf course?
Yeah. So I could drunk drive my car home, which is what I respected about him.
Yeah, he's like, it's still my fucking golf cart.
Yeah. He's like, you're lucky I don't charge you the $200 like leaving the grounds fee for taking a golf cart and drunk driving.
He was the coolest. I remember like when I left, I went to college back up to Seattle, and I wanted like a recommendation, and the other two were not going to give it to me. I walked in with a handle of Maker's Mark. And
nice.
A recommendation letter I had written myself. And I was like, will you sign this? And he goes, I mean, absolutely. He goes, good move. Good move.
Yeah, I'll even add the word exemplary somewhere.
Here's my email. Have him reach out if anyone wants to know.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then he signed it, and then you're like, all right, I'll see you later. And you looked at it, and he wrote down, he signed Maker's Mark.
I was gonna say you walk away, you turn around, and the entire Maker's Mark has been drained.
He was like from Denver, like he had this drawl. It was cool, but yeah, he for sure Maker's was his thing, which shows you, he liked to drink like a rocking chair.
Yeah. So I mean, what was the deal with this lunatic? Lunatic for rules?
This guy, he was clear, like, so he just hated his life. He wasn't the head pro, which he was an underling, which is never fun. Like he like
wait, is the cool guy head pro?
No, but Derek was
cool.
Derek, but yeah, he was also like the tournament's planner, and he had other jobs. Adam, psychopath, was just like a washed up golfer, like couldn't cut it. Accepted that, grew up in the area, like grew up a rich kid, like would constantly talk about the Mustang 5.0 he had, convertible Mustang 5.0 he had.
Anybody who's willing to talk about their car,
totally,
when their car isn't in the immediate vicinity.
We had like, there was a part of the year we'd have these like seasonal birds that would just like sit on the fairway of the 9th hole. Okay. Like right kind of off the tee box. And Adam went down, and didn't suck at golf. Like he knew how to hit the shots where he wanted. So he took his driver, he topped the ball on purpose and put enough topspin on it where it just, 150 miles an hour, comes out and dives right into the group of birds. And like I'm in the bag room, like putting bags away, washing, trying to close up, and Adam comes like ripping up in a golf cart. He goes, dude, look at this. He goes, check the ice chest. And I like the cooler. I open the cart's cooler, and it's just a decapitated bird.
Oh, like just one bird?
Yeah. And then he gives me a styrofoam cup and pops the lid, and it's the fucking head. He had killed this bird. He had topped the ball into the group of birds, decapitated one, went down, picked the body up, put it in the cooler, put the head in a cup, came up to show me. And I was like, you're 35 years. What are you doing?
Yeah. Like, hey man, nice shot. What do you want from me? Like, what do you want?
This guy was nuts, but everyone else was fun. But it was.
Yeah, I would imagine they'd have to be fun compared to that. Compared to like,
some guy just shows up and is like, I clocked in 5 minutes late, but I'm not going to yell at you. Like, well, this guy seems pretty fun.
Yeah.
He's not murdering birds.
He would throw tantrums for like, he would laugh. He didn't know. It was like, I get like any woman who complains about like abusive relationships. Like, I just don't know what he's going to be like today. I was that woman every time I would go to work with Adam. Like, he just didn't like
which Adam's going to show up.
Yeah, it was terrifying. It was just like, Jesus. Better than Adam.
Just the mindset to go, I'm going to like keep them separate.
Oh yeah,
that's the weird thing.
He for sure took that bird home. He took the bird.
Was there ice in the cooler?
No, I think he wanted to get ice.
So he's trying to preserve the body.
Yeah.
And then not the head. Like the head's gonna fucking, like it's dead. But you know how like if someone loses their thumb or whatever, they're like, put it on ice real quick. We can maybe try to save it.
No, he wants to put this bird on ice so he can get drunk with it later that night. Just talk to it and not stink.
He
wants to like preserve that bird's head, put on the top of a cane or something. You know?
It was truly the worst boss I've ever had by like a mile. Well, I've had some bad ones, but like. The most outwardly, I'm insane.
And I'll do anything, anything to make myself look better to myself, or to hurt someone else just for fun.
Like he's walking around with that bird like he's like like a little bit of power. That's
what he like a little
bit of God.
No, he was strutting.
He
was
like he
drives and had an erection. He was.
He's got a boner with this bird. No good.
I would say after seeing that, if I worked there, I would be like, every time I saw him in a good mood, I would assume he had just killed.
Oh yeah. I assumed that's what we assumed.
Yeah, he was living a Dexter life, and that was this was the
not that secretively. He was very bad at it.
Constantly wiping blood off of his hands.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Justin. You're early today.
What do you guys need? What tea time you want? We got it. I got it. Where's the computer?
Just wipes his nose. There's a bit of blood on his face. From where
Let me change my shirt. It's covered in bovine blood.
Yeah, it was never a dull experience at that place for sure.
How did you get that job? Did you just apply?
Yeah, I just went. It was close to where my parents lived, and I just went down. And I was like, I mean, this sounds like it would be a cool job.
Yeah, and you, and the way, and the reason you left was you were headed off to college or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did my 2 years and was immediately
2 years. 2 years is a long time.
The day I turned 18, I was in my car and I was like later, and I just drove back up.
It's weird that like we've had a couple other people on the show who first job was like in the golf course, and I feel it's like Brad Wenzel and one other, but it was like
Kyle Kinane.
And it was a thing where it's like both of them are trying to like really quantify how boring it was, but you have far and away the most complete opposite.
Yeah, like, it was like, and the boring days were like the greatest too, because there were plenty of boring days, but it's like we would just like in the picker, like you would go pick the balls off the range, like the kids who were all great golfers would top the ball on purpose to hit the picker. You were just like a moving target. And these kids, I would have my iPod going just during my AC/DC high school year, whatever hard like live Nirvana album I was listening to, just like fucking just going, and then just take just 120 mile an hour 3-iron through the windshield, and just be like, Jesus, and then actively like scream at these kids, and they would just cackle like hyenas.
Of course.
And I was like, I would do the same thing.
But I'm driving this thing now. Yeah.
But I mean, I was terrifying because it was just like,
of course,
like, God, get a gun, shoot me. It seems like it's slower. There was another time. It was right below, like on the like. It was right near the Reagan Library. So
wow, it really speaks to the level of wealth.
When he died. Oh yeah, it was obscene. Also just Reagan people. Which is but when he died, they had, I don't know if you remember this, when Reagan died, they had like Weekend at Bernie's 3. Like they had, they buried him. They had his ceremony at the Reagan Library. flew his dead ass to DC, had a ceremony there, put him in a motorcade, drove him up someplace, had another ceremony there, and then flew him back to have another ceremony at the Reagan Library so Nancy could say goodbye. And she didn't even know where the fuck she was at that point.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But it was like, I mean, Weekend at Bernie's is a trilogy, and Reagan got back into the acting game late in life. But like, while they were prepping for that, they shut our golf course down so Air Force 2 could do emergency landings there to see if in case they needed to get Bush out of there in time. So we were just sitting there in the bag room and had this big window that looked across the course. We were just watching Air Force 2 like sit and jump and go. And that was like a day.
On the golf course? Oh.
Yeah, because they were using our fairways as like to evacuate him.
Wouldn't that literally ruin the fairway?
I don't know. I mean, you can't do with the president. They're like the presidents.
Yeah.
We're not giving you a choice.
You're just wasted the whole time this is going on. Like
pretty much. It was
crashed. The president's getting off a helicopter at your job.
We're just drinking tall boys and watching fucking and using members' clubs to play golf. That was all we would do. We would just take the richest, biggest dickheads, nicest clubs.
Yeah.
And if you were an asshole to us, we would just take your clubs and we would go. And none of us were good at golf. Just go. We would just go make divots and suck and ruin your.
Yeah, club. Just hitting tall boys.
Yeah.
Hitting your cans.
I mean, it would be days like that. There was like interesting members. Like there was like this Green Beret. What was his name? Mr. Garcia. And like he would go out. He had this.
What was his real name?
Renee. His name was Renee Garcia. Renee. He was
Renee the Green Beret.
He was like Costa Rican. Like he was. But he was massive. But he would go out with this like accounting professor from Pepperdine, and they were cool and they were easy to deal with. But like they would stay out late, and you would have to close, and I'd be wait like. And there was one time where we were supposed to like close early to prep for some tournament, and I went out like a little 17-year-old cunt and like found them. I was like, hey man, you guys like know very like not condescendingly, but like exasperated. Like you guys know you're not supposed to be out. We're supposed to, like I told you guys before you went out, like you got to be in by 4, whatever. And Garcia just came up to me, like very calmly, like looked down at me and just goes, "Man, I spent 3 years in Vietnam as a Green Beret. Do not ever talk to me that way again." And then just like put his hand out and like shook my hand and engulfed my whole hand. And I was like, and he's like, "We'll be in shortly." And I was like, absolutely.
Oh man!
Fucking got on the card and shit myself. But yeah, there was Jay Leno came a couple times. Like he knew some member, and that's when
dude. I right away if I got threatened to like that by Renee the Green Beret, and then Jay Leno came on, I'd be like, "Fuck you, Jay Leno! I'll beat the shit out of you." All right. You are not going to intimidate me. I've faced the devil a little while ago.
He's exactly like you would assume Jay Leno would be, which is not that enjoyable.
Not an enjoyable person to like to have to serve in like a service role. Or if anything, if Jay Leno does anything wrong to you, you can just be like, I got a guy you should meet, Jay. Renee.
Yeah.
Mr. Garcia.
Mr. Garcia, get over here. Just call this guy by his first name and don't say sir.
Yeah, Renee. Yeah.
He'll fucking kill you.
God.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Because that's a lot. But okay, so that was your first job ever. Justin, what would you say is the worst job you've ever had?
I worked at I worked Snapchat here was pretty awful. I worked there. Really? But like
I've heard walking into that office is insane because it's like in Venice. It's like this one house and there's like not enough room for everybody.
Well, there are multiple. So first of all, it's for sure an app to send dick pics. That's what Evan created it for. It's 100% what it is. There's a dick pic team and it's only women that they have. So they go through dick pics. Anytime someone complains about a dick pic, they're the team that goes through, make sure it's a dick pic.
Okay.
And they only hire women because they're like, well, we feel females are the only ones who are emotionally mature enough to handle this stuff.
Or just ready for just pure trauma every day, all day.
Just to plow through the dick pic storm.
Yeah. And the thing was like when I first got hired, Buddy worked there and it was before it went public. And he knew like I was a comic, and I was like, I was doing colleges and stuff, and it's like would come up like a week in advance, and I'd have to. So I was just like, yeah, I got to be able to go.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, no, like he liked the idea of having employees who like had a life outside of the job, because like as far as management goes, he's just like, you guys are easy to deal with. I like anyone who loves their job, like it's obsessed. But when it went public, like so I would like go in. Like the thing was, I was commuting from where we used to live, Chase, to
Los Feliz to Venice.
Venice,
which is a fucking shit of a commute.
That's a garbage commute.
It was fucking. It shaved 10 years off my life.
Because it's easily, I would say, best case scenario, it's just under an hour. I'm talking like 2 a.m. You know.
Oh yeah, I started going in because I could kind of make my own hours as long as I hit the hours I need. I would work weekends, and then on the week I would go in at like 5:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Just because if I didn't hit the 10 at 6 a.m., if I hit it at 6:05, it was an hour. It was an extra 45 minutes of traffic.
Yeah, it could easily be an hour and a half, easy.
So, but yeah, so Evan just wanted the campus to be in Venice. So and Venice is built up. There's no big buildings. So they just went through and bought a bunch of property, bunch of houses, and converted them into. They bought like Lance Armstrong and Matthew McConaughey's old like gym that became our like cafeteria. It was bizarre. So like I worked on like the customer ops team. So like my job was like hacked accounts and like dealing with hacked accounts. But like so we were in one of the like nice building, like what used to be a mansion. Yeah. And so they had this like right down the alley was this really like kind of their gym building, which was like what had been like maybe a 5-unit condo complex of like very like expensive condos. Yeah. That they converted into, it was all open workspace because fucking all of it is now. That they made the engineers office, so like all the people coders
who do all the coding and shit.
So it had, to this day I wanted to like make a short of it, but like, so this place had, you'd walk in, this place had 50-foot floor-to-ceiling windows with unobstructed views of the ocean. And
just insane.
Yeah,
to start.
It's $15 million.
Yeah,
it's a $15 million view right there.
I can't imagine seeing the ocean in Venice without seeing 65 bums as well.
Absolutely, and they didn't have, so that was like the only view without that. And so then the whole open workspace was like two rows divided down there by an aisle with like maybe 5 guys in each row, and a wraparound monitor setup, and they were coding, and there was probably 10 rows for these guys. So let's say 50 coders.
Yeah.
So
just all like
you walk in, and there was like a walk across bridge you could look down one, and all these guys, I watched them for like 10 minutes straight, and they're all just lean back, look at coding, and not one time in that 10 minutes, not one did they just look out and look at the view. Just look. They couldn't see anything. It was just the view. So it was hilarious. They just had this
3 monitors,
a black screen with just code and blocking what is one of the most amazing views I've ever seen. And they couldn't give less of a shit.
Yeah.
and that was their life. They
could be in a fucking warehouse in Des Moines if they had to be. But that's what like, over the past, let's say maybe even 5, but definitely like 10 years, there's been sort of like a setup of like Silicon Beach of just like, it's like the CEOs, it's like it's like the top dogs of those companies just want, and the top engineers too, want to live somewhere nice, and the engineers wouldn't move to Oklahoma. You know what I mean? So like,
same thing is happening in Seattle, which is like, there's so many like engineers up there just with Microsoft and Amazon that Facebook and Snapchat and everyone have opened, because engineers are like, I've got a family and I don't need to move. So, and I don't need to be in the office. I can do all this remotely. So they've all opened up, and it's becoming a huge problem in Seattle. There's like a civil war happening up there, which is what happened in Venice when I was working there, is all the people getting pissed, the locals, and rightfully so. They're like, you fuckers are driving up our prices. You're buying all our property.
Yeah. And we know how it's going to work because we've seen San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like we live
exactly.
And it's the same players.
So they were fighting back. They were like actively hostile to the point where like Snap had to hire a bunch of like thug security guys,
right,
to like patrol the.
Well, and also
the other thing was like we had to wear our badge. We had to wear our badges openly, constantly, which I fought. I won. I got in trouble for so many things there.
For watching engineers.
Because I was like, no, I'm not going to wear something that the locals want to punch me in the face for.
Yeah.
But like we had this like lady, we would have to go to this like pseudo therapist, old woman that like Evan had in like grade school, and like just brought her to Snap, and we would literally have to sit in her kumbaya circle and then she would pass the stuched animal around and ask you questions like, who loves you and why? And I
in a group.
I hated it so much, and I was like, finally, like I just stopped going, like, and I just didn't go.
Yeah.
And because literally they pass it around like name someone who loves you and why. And I was just like, in all seriousness, asking me what my favorite sexual position is less invasive than this to me. No. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, this is. It's also like, again, like it's like, well, I'm at work, man. Like, and I understand if maybe we're doing like a one-on-one thing, but like this is with everybody. What the fuck are you talking about?
And honey, you're not licensed. So I have a therapist, and
they hate me too.
Yeah, I don't need this.
Yeah, it's crazy to think though. Like real quick, just to touch back on like the idea of like how much the locals hate you. If you're one of the girls on the dick pic team and you're just walking into your job getting shit thrown at you, like getting called like a fucking like a gentrifier
and like a piece of shit, like a rich asshole. And you live in fucking Pasadena.
Yeah. And then you go in and there's 200 dick pics that you guys like
waiting.
That sounds like the worst existence.
I don't know how they did it. That wasn't no thank you.
Yeah, and then to be like, who loves you and why? I don't fucking know one.
All I see is dicks. All I see, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
People treat me like a dick. I see dicks. It's fucking constant.
Call me a dick as I walk in. Just holy smokes! This is for Snapchat.
Yeah. The other big thing was
holy smokes.
So I got in trouble with HR for not going to the therapy thing, which I like stood my ground on. I was like, they're like, you have to go, and I was like, is it in my contract?
Do I?
Well, no. I was like, well, it sounds like
I don't have to go.
So they weren't thrilled about that. And then I like wouldn't download the app. Like I wouldn't make an account because I just was like, this app is stupid. It's a breakdown waiting to happen. It's just, there's no direction. You can go up, down, left, right. There's a lot going on. And I was just like, I didn't need, like, I knew how to work hacked accounts. I played on the app enough, like I knew, but like
you knew what the problem was.
I was like the only employee who didn't have a registered account,
and so they would regularly bring that up,
which was an issue. And I was like, I don't need it to do my job, so no, I'm not doing this. And it was kind of just like a fuck you guys make, because I didn't. The other thing was like I was like, let me work remotely. I don't need to be here to do all this stuff, because half the time they're like, well, no, and their whole excuse was like, well, no, like there's sensitive information. You can't just be doing this anyway. You need to secure it, which was all bullshit, because they would call me when I wasn't working, constantly be like, Kim Kardashian's account got hacked again. We need you to figure it out. All right, I'm using this coffee shop's internet. Like, so they didn't care.
Yeah,
they
and
just,
you can get set up on VPN. Like tech people
so
know
ways,
how to make
it was
things
just
secure.
A bullshit. Yeah, but when they went public, everything changed. They hired this woman named Agatha, when never has a personality matched a name so thoroughly. But her and I immediately, she was like, oh, I think she came up to me within 2 days and was like, oh, you're the comedian one, huh? And I was like,
so this is over.
So this is going to be our relationship.
Yeah.
Got it.
Like, okay, Agatha, which one are you? Like,
So she eventually canned me. We had a good 8 months of a real good war. I recently talked to a buddy who still works there, and he goes like, yeah, after Agatha fired you, she just went around telling people she hopes your comedy career fails. I was like, what?
God.
Wow, sounds like a bad person.
And they were like, yeah, but also she's like got something. She's like she's going blind. So there's that. So which is nice. So
also, man, you don't have to wish my comedy career isn't going to go well. It's not going to go well.
You don't need to. It's already. I work here, Agatha.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, hey, listen, you don't like.
not working here for love of the game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh my God. What a fucking asshole. What a shitty thing to wish on someone after you took away their source of money.
Only thing.
And it took to unseat Adam as the shittiest boss isn't easy. You unseat. I mean, you're unseating who has to be a felon at this point.
Yeah.
In jail.
No, he got off. No, I was gonna say Adam was a felon, but he's rich, so he went to court, did some stuff, got reduced a couple things to reduce a misdemeanor. Maybe did a little bit of time, but I'd say for the most part, he made it through. He Martha Stewarted the whole situation.
Yeah, it was, but it was an interesting experience for sure. It was nice and fun while it lasted. But I also hated the open workspace thing. Open workspaces, fuck off.
They're stupid, dude.
They do not help. I did open workspace, K through 12. I've done my time. I'm done.
Open workspaces. I'm not. They're interruption machines too.
Totally. And I would rally against it constantly, like I did everything there. But so I would just book meeting rooms and I would block it off for the whole day, and I would just be in there, and people would come like, "Oh, are you using this?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, no, it's on my schedule."
Yeah, sorry.
So they reversed after I left. They made a rule where it's you can't, if you don't have meetings with more than 3 people, and you can't.
Everybody has to put in the nuclear code at the same time.
Because I would just use them as my own personal office. And there was a couple, I was friends with a couple of people that good work friend were and they also knew me to a point where they would know when they would have to warn me about things because I would just say that I don't like this.
Yeah, Jason, Justin, you're gonna scream. We have to tell you now. So you scream now instead of
I remember coming up once, and one of these girls comes down immediately and catches me at the door, and she goes, "Look, Roxy, who is this girl who I'm still friends with, and she's great, but she goes, Roxy's having a morning, so she's crying. Just don't be you." And I was like, "All right, I got work to do." And so I go sit down next, and Roxy's sitting right next to me, and sniffing, and wants me to ask "Hey, how are you doing? What's wrong?" And I'm "I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing it. It's not happening." And finally, she just brushes the top. She's like, "Well, if you want to know, my cat peed all over my new shoes," and I just stopped. I was like, "Fucking absolutely not. No, this isn't. If this is what this whole thing was, no. No." I'm not.
You're allowed to have a morning. I just don't have to be in the morning with you.
No, I'm not gonna. If your cat peeing on your shoes is why we are in lockdown mode as an office right now, got issues with it.
Also, there's a circle for that later on. Go fucking say it.
Exactly. Go wait for that one. But also she was very funny. They're all funny folks I work with. And fellow people, but
it sounds to me again, everybody kind of wanted to do. It just seems to me there is an increasing there's just an increasing realm of people that or people who are service to the machine that really people who want to do their jobs really bother them. You know what I mean? People who just want to do their jobs, they're but you should be doing. You should download the app. You should come to the circle. You should you know what I mean? Love me,
It's like a camp. Let me just get in here, do my job, and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And also, I'm naming names here, but if any of these people watch this, Roxy, you're amazing. Big fan of you personally.
Maybe not a big fan of that cat.
The cat, who I think his name was Bowie because they had 2 different colored eyes. I know so much about this goddamn cat against my will, but But there were and there were those people where it was their life. The buddy who hired me wanted to avoid all of these type of people, which is why he hired me.
Sure.
They ended up becoming those, and it was just we would just be "All right, I'm done. I'm out. Goodbye." We're gonna go get drinks later. I'm I'm not. That happens. That happens at any job where it's just what do you want me to say here? The answer is no. You want to dig?
But it really blows my mind. I'm in a similar boat. I've never minded. I have minded a bunch of coworkers, but what I'm saying is for the people that I say no to, it's not that I dislike you. It's just we've been together for at least 6 hours,
there's no
if you wanted to say something, we had plenty of time to do it,
Absolutely. I don't care how much. I don't care. I can love you. I don't want to see you right now. If I've been, give me a break.
Well, Justin, we always ask 3 questions to make sure we covered everything before we close out. Question number 1 for this Snapchat job. Like, when were you done and how did you quit? Like, I guess you got fired, but like, was there a point where you're like, I'm going to have to leave, or I can see it writing on the wall?
Yeah, I was actually set. I was going to leave, turn in my notice 48 hours. Because I had gotten like this writing job for some like web series Disney show, like, which was still way better than Snapchat. But like, I had like the day before I had gone into work like at 5:45 in the morning, and my car broke down on the way there. I had like a morning just getting there.
Yeah.
And I was like in a mood, and I sat down and I spilled all my coffee all over me. And they gave us these headphones, and I just went, God damn it! And I knocked my headphone off my desk
in a light rage.
Yeah, and they had these little like pottery Snapchat logo guys that they gave us, and I had put mine on the windowsill because I didn't want it and I needed desk space.
Yeah.
And it hit that, and I had like half the size of an iPhone.
Yeah.
And it broke it. And I was like, oh, God damn it. So I picked it up and I threw it away. It is me in the office, a janitor, and one chick like at the other end.
Yeah.
And she, and rightfully so, was like, he threw a tantrum and broke a pot. And that was all Agatha needed. She was like, perfect. Gotcha. And I was like,
you're out of here.
But so I'm like showing, like I came in the next morning and she's like with the head of HR in a meeting room waiting for me with the paperwork and everything. She's like,
just psyched out of her mind.
And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Just go. So I think they cut me like a 1,500. They got me my like what I had left for the week, and I think like I just fuck off.
Yeah.
And I was like, deal.
Yeah.
Truce.
Gladly.
Yeah. As long as we never have to talk again, I'll sign whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
great.
that was the day.
Yeah. So question number 2, maybe a harder question. What would you say is one good thing you took from that very bad job?
It is cool. Like, I think when you're like a comic, like one cool thing about being a comic is like you get like a good kind of cross section of people.
Sure.
Like you experience and stuff like that. And I think like what is left out of that cross section is maybe like normal people. You know, like people who have jobs and like do that, and it's like that's what their life is.
Definitely.
And it's anytime I have like a job like that, and it's kind of just how comedy is. Like I work for Amazon up in Seattle, and enough big jobs before I came down here to do this. Like I kind of just wrote that resume out and kind of did temp, like white collar temp jobs.
Yeah.
And when that temp would be up, I would just not take the job and write on unemployment. But so I'd have these jobs constantly, and it's always interesting to like meet these people and kind of like see their life. And always like by the time it's done, I'm like, yeah, this isn't my like to do that forever. But it's like it is like, you know, having a little dose of like normality.
Agreed. It's both refreshing and terrifying.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like going to the park and seeing. It's like going to the zoo, except with normal people.
Because when you do comedian stuff, it's like, oh wow, I'm meeting all these interesting people, and like, some of them are literally like medically unwell.
You're like quickly go like, oh, it's just the mentally unbalanced. Constantly.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it's like at first it seems like a fun, like, oh, it's like fun sideshow freaks, you know, and then like fun people who need help.
So you would walk in and like it would just be girls braiding each other's hair at their desk and like set to watch the Bachelor that they recorded in the office, and it was like as basic and as annoying as it is, that you're at the same time you're like, all right, well, okay. A little bit of
it's
and
called,
it also
like, I know what's gonna happen.
There's no wild cards. Like there was no, it's like, okay, I know what I'm in for. And all right. And that was what was worked about that job when it did work, was it was just like you go in, do your thing, get out. Yeah,
you always feel a little feral, you know, as you feel like a cat that they've like sort of dragged off the street.
Oh,
you know?
Which and I was for sure that, especially like in the open work store where I can't hide. I'm just
it's tough.
Please.
Right.
Please.
But to have, again, it's nice, you know, it's nice to go to Pinkberry sometimes, you know.
Sure. Oh, boy.
Nice to just get a little froyo with some M&Ms on top. And
that was it, man.
Feel good. Okay. Well, question number 3, not related to that job, is like we've had a pandemic. You know, I wish I could say it's over, but we don't know. How have you been? Like any new thoughts, directions, revelations? Just how you doing?
Just a whole new level of dark. Who thought we could evolve to a different shade of black? But no, I mean it's been interesting. I mean it's been crazy. I'm sure it's been for you guys too. Like I used to live by you, Chase, and not there anymore. I'm slightly down the street, but I hopped around a lot. I was in New York for the summer for a little bit. I had to go. My sister fucked off to the Virgin Islands like a month before quarantine hit.
Wow.
With a boy. Who's her boyfriend? He's very nice. But like my sister and I growing up fucking hated each other. We couldn't stand like any sibling. Like we could have watched each other die in front of our eyes and been like, that's unfortunate, and just fucking gone about our day.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yeah. I'm taking his room. But but now Erica and I, she's one of my best friends. I'm glad I love her. I'm glad I have her, but she's also she deals with emotions, and she's with my mom and stuff. She deals with all that stuff, and I'm what needs to be moved or built or shit. But Erica's been in the Virgin Islands all year, and my mom got sick, so she called me and she's like, you need to step up and do the emotion stuff job.
Right.
I'm not. This isn't good for either of us. It's going to be bad all around. But I had to stay with my mom for 6 months to help with some stuff, and that was a whole quarantine with mom was fun.
Yeah, that's pretty full on.
Yeah. So then, but once she got through it all, that's when I came. And so now I'm back up here in LA. But yeah, hopped from LA to New York to San Diego, back to LA. And so I was kind of just a rolling stone for honestly, I was just actively trying to get COVID, and I didn't get it. I was fine. In New York, I was moving people out of work for a moving company. I was actively trying to just give me whatever you got. But I mean, yeah, it's been fine. It was oddly a nice kind of break from kind of the race or whatever.
Sure.
It is.
Yeah.
Because I was working for another startup that went under right at the beginning of quarantine, and the good thing that happened was I just got unemployment from the whole. Yeah. They just kept extending me, and I was okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes you take things back and kind of figure things out. But it was definitely, I think, almost a needed break from whatever it is that we do.
Yeah.
Sure. You're not the first person to say that. That's for goddamn sure. Well, Justin, where can people find you on the internet if you care to be found?
Justin H. Clark on most of the socials, and yeah, that's about it.
We'll put links to all that in the show notes.
And over in Franklin Village, if you just want to see me at Birds, probably.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, Justin.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is a blast.
This is a blast. Yeah. Good time.
I name names, but fucking bring it. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm sure Adam will be
Roxy.
At my door in a week.
Well, fuck this place.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
If you had a good time, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. 5 stars, 4 stars. There's less stars, but why would you be that mean? I mean, you can be. Just text us. That's 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. And let it out. Let's dish. Get mean. Okay. Bye for now.